Hi guys, welcome to CarAndMechanical. I'm just on my way back from the dyno run, so I'm going to share the results with you on that. Now, the results of the dyno run are quite interesting. They're going to form the plan for the Audi going forward, and there's a few things that off the back of it I need to take some stock on. But ultimately, I say things were okay, but not as good as I wanted to. So I'm going to put a video up of the dyno run. I'm going to cut out and come back after it. So I did 3 of these runs, and the car made 175 and 176 horsepower. So I think the stock figure from the car is 180 PS, which is about 176 horsepower. So it's making its stock number. Am I disappointed with that? Yes, because I've got the hybrid system on it, so I've got the hybrid turbo on it. If I look at it with everything, actually it's probably not so bad. It's probably limited by fueling, which is limited by the pump itself. You can't overvolt these pumps too much, I've been told. I need to understand more about the pumps, but I think my ultimate thing that I need to do here, in order to be chasing more power, I need to go for bigger injectors. So I've got a spare set of injectors on a spare engine. I've been given a contact that I can send those out to. I need to source some better nozzles, and I think I'm going to get the nozzles built up, and then after I get those in, see how it responds. And I think the map needs tweaking, so the map's going to need the voltage turning down a bit, because otherwise I'll be putting in way too much fuel. And I've been told that the turbo will support 2.5 bar. When I look in torque at the moment, I think it makes 21 or 22 PSI. I'll check a screenshot and put it on screen. Because I took some screenshots when I was doing some tinkering with torque to find out what was going on when I had a map, when I had a map sensor issue. So it was a good day. Really interesting. There were some awesome Audis there. So there's a lot of the PD130s that have been remapped, and they were making sort of 165, 170 horsepower. So there's a little bit of a thing with this that I'm a bit gutted that the PD130s are probably lighter and making more power. But I still like the car, and I still want to be chasing a bit more power out of it. What I now need to decide with is what nozzles I'm going to go for. There's 3 types of nozzles I can go for that I understand. If anyone out there tunes 2.5 TDIs and knows any better, let me know. There's some Ivercone nozzles that I can use, and I believe they're good for 220 to 250 horsepower. There's the CPC plus 66% nozzles. Those are €80 each. And there's the Bosio Fratelli 683, I think, race nozzles. Hopefully I got the name of that right. So what I think I need to do is just have a think about what nozzles I'm going to go for. The Ivercones are the cheaper option. I think I can get those for about £150, and I need to send a set of my injectors off, get those rebuilt and get those back. The bits of context that I'm thinking about here, at 175 horsepower, I'm not unhappy with the car. I do want it to have a bit more poke. So I've got those couple of mods that I mentioned in the previous video. I want the cat gutted, so we're going to get that sorted. We're going to free up that exhaust flow a little bit more, because there's definitely going to be a couple of horsepower there. I'm going to get rid of the fan, so it's a clutched fan. I'm going to take that off. I don't know if I'm going to get it re-dynoed with just those 2 mods done, or whether I'm going to go through the nozzle bit. The nozzles are probably going to cost me between £300 and £600, if not more, to get sorted. The Bosio Fratelli ones, I think, are £400 to £500. And this is the problem with 2 of the performance nozzle types. They are known to support 300 horsepower, but the problem with those nozzles is they've got a huge waiting list on them. I've seen through CPC that they have to make theirs in batches, and some of their Facebook updates have to sort of thank people for waiting for them. I'm not sure I want to wait 6 months for the nozzles. I'm really unsure what I'm going to do with that one. So I'll make my mind up on that. The other thing is, the more power I chase, I'm going to have to upgrade the clutch as well. So I have to probably go for a Sachs SRE organic clutch. Yeah, I really don't know what to do on that one. But it was a good day. It was good to go and meet the B6 UK Facebook group. The guys that run that, good group of guys, good laugh, good to see their cars running. And the most incredible car of the day was Audi A4 2.7T swapped B6, and that thing made 500 horsepower. That's so much power in a car like this. You know, it's more than an RS. It's probably the same amount as a current RS, to be honest. He's a really nice bloke, really open with what he did with it. Really nice group of guys in general. So yeah, plans going forward. New injectors on this, couple of little mods. Decide if I want to make 200 horsepower, if I want to make 250 or 300. As people say, how much do you want to spend? And also need to think about what I think the stock turbo can support. I've been told this turbo will support 2.5 bar of boost. When I've had the intakes off of the turbo, when I've had the piping off of the turbo, I've noticed that there's a little bit of shaft play. And I think sometimes when it chokes, I think it might stall when it's cold. So when the oil's not flowing as freely, I think it stalls out a little bit. Luckily, it didn't stall on the dyno today. It behaved itself. We got the 3 consistent runs at 175. But ultimately, I think where I want this car, I think I would like it to be over 200 horsepower and to be clean. I don't want to have to worry about it for MOTs, or I don't want to be that guy that's rolling coal as you go down the road, which I think at 300 I would be. So I think what I want to be doing is I want to have it at maybe 225 to 250 on the Iveco nozzles. I think that's probably where I'm going to land. I'm not committing to that yet. But if I could get it there, I think it would be quite a rapid car. I think at that kind of level, I'd probably be looking at similar mileage. In fact, I think it's not great on mileage at the moment because I think the current nozzles are probably worn out. So what I'm sort of hoping for is that to keep the car nicely drivable, to keep decent turbo sport on it. So if the turbo was to start going away from me, if I go for the bigger nozzles, I think I'm going to go for the 2260 ball bearing turbo. The only problem with that is when you swap the turbos on these, they need custom actuator arms on them. So the one reason I know that this actually has the hybrid turbo I'm told it has on it is, one, I see the boost that it supports when I'm using torque, but two, when you look at the duty cycle, it makes the duty cycle sort of between 30 and 70%, where normally you see the duty cycle going up to sort of 100%. So because it's been switched from the type of arm that it uses, what that means is that the duty cycle has to be less, which makes it a bit more finicky. And if I do swap for another custom turbo, the mapping is going to have to be done to associate with that, whereas I could probably leave some of that alone. I don't know. I'd like to DIY map it. Maybe I need to get the guys at Sharp Performance to map it. I have to have a word with them to see if they're happy with that, because it wouldn't be their equipment that they're fitted. There's sort of a mixed bag there with other people's parts. So we'll see. And there was a sort of a promise from the guy I bought the car from. He was a mapper, that he could supply a map, but I don't know if he's made one for certain things. There's some conversations to be had before I decide what route's going to happen. But yeah, just a quick update. So dyno printouts on screen, quite happy with that. Would have loved it to have made at least 180s, to be 5 down from the stock figure with sort of custom parts on it and the precat gone. A little bit gutted. In my head, I would have liked 200. I think realistically, knowing how the car drives, I've always felt that it was more than 150. I thought if it was 200, maybe the weight of the car was masking that in my head. But I think being pragmatic and realistic, I've known that it wasn't going to make 200. There's no way it's going to make 220. However, those are the kind of goals I want to get to. If I'm happy-ish with it at 175 horsepower, I'll be much happier with it when I'm running sort of at those much higher figures. So we'll wait and see what happens there. So yeah, I'm happy with 175, and I wanted to make this video to be as transparent as I can be for you. Just to show you, look, this is what a 2.5 makes. I've personally gone for 2.5 because it's a smoother engine. I love the way that the torque delivery is in it. There is a very big question mark of if a 2.5 with these mods on it makes 175, why not just get the TDI Quattro and put a map on it and get the 170? You know, it's a much cheaper car. It does better miles per gallon. And there's part of me that just wanted a V6 and to do something different, and that's what I've done. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please leave any comments in the comment section down below. Please like the video if you liked it. Please share it to anyone you think it would be interesting to. And more than anything, thank you for watching.